Hi, First Ascents community, it's Sprinkles, and welcome to our mindful moment as part of our Mindfulness Monday series with the First Ascents community. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about meditation. In May, our practice was more about mindfulness in general. And we're going to take it a step deeper and unpack some of those meditation basics. As I said last month, mindfulness is a muscle, and the more we exercise and practice that muscle, the bigger it gets. It's similar to going to the gym and working out your muscles in that way, too. And so when we exercise our mindfulness muscle, it starts to impact our own life and we notice a little bit more calm and flow. And then, it will impact the lives of others. So there's a trickle effect there. Um, there's different ways to practice. And so what we tap into like on a more formal level when we actually sit to meditate, it sort of like spurs along this continuum of wanting to carry that throughout our day. And that's why we do the more formal practices, but it's really about living it. It's about taking it into the world and continuing to apply mindfulness throughout your life. So we're going to do like one of the more, I guess, a quote unquote formal practices today. I'm going to take you through a meditation, and then your task over the next month is just to see how that you can continue to apply that and how it impacts your life. Okay, so we're going to get started, and we're going to just quickly stand up because we're going to shake up our energy first. So, meditation was originally meant to be practiced after movement in yoga. So, in ancient Indian culture, like 5,000 years ago, when yoga was created as a movement practice, it was because they were trying to prepare their bodies to be able to sit a little bit longer. And the reason is if you were just sitting there, we're already kind of stiff. And we're supposed to get comfortable and be at ease when we meditate. So that's the very first thing is like, I like to sort of just like move my arms, kind of shake my legs, stir up. We call this prana, or it's often said as chi energy that moves through the body. And so you can circle your wrists and your ankles, maybe your hips a little bit. And we're just preparing our body, a few stretches to be able to sit for, we won't be there that long, but we want to be able to sit for about 10 minutes. Okay, so then we'll start to get settled. And I like giving the option of whether you want to sit or lay down for meditation. Some people say it's best to sit because we stay more, our attention is a little more focused, but you know your body best and what's comfortable for you. The main thing is you want your spine straight. If you're in a chair, it's really helpful to just put your feet on the floor because that's a stable base. And then you have a back of the chair to sit on, and then your spine goes straight on that. If you are sitting down on the floor, I'm just going to show you like I have a cushion underneath my hips, and then my knees are lower than my hips. Um, I don't recommend sitting on the floor unless you can keep your posture very straight, because otherwise we start to slump. And then we close off our energy and it's harder to breathe. So, like I said, spine is straight is the most important part. And then laying down, it's nice to have the option of like having something underneath your knees because you have a pillow or a blanket roll. It allows your spine to sort of sink down into the earth a little bit and puts your pelvis at ease. So you can try out any of those positions. Get settled. And so you start to just feel your body connected to whatever is underneath it. If it's comfortable for you to soften your eyes or just find a gaze, sort of like narrowing your focus, finding what we call a drishti or a focal point. So just focusing on one thing if your eyes are open or closing them and sort of almost have like this third eye, um, or focusing on your heart space, like having one area of focus. And so we Start to stack the body. And again, finding that structure and the integrity of the spine, lifting up and lengthening up through the shoulders, shrugging them up and letting them fall down your back. Or if you're on the ground, sort of shimmying the shoulders and laying your spine straight. And with that stability, then allow yourself to take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, soften your body. So find some ease and find a little bit more comfort. And now feel the space around you and notice your body touching everything beneath it once again. Your body can become an anchor when you're meditating. You can come back to this sense of grounding that you're feeling in this moment. If your mind starts to take you places, you say, okay, I'm coming back to my body. I'm coming back to my body. My feet are on the ground. My spine is straight. Shoulders are at ease. Taking a deep breath in and out. And simply notice how you feel in this moment in your body. Maybe you're still feeling like it's hard to settle in, or maybe you realize that you're already feeling a little more peaceful just with a few moments. Now we're going to start to draw inward. So, from that physical shell of our body, we're going into more of that internal landscape within. So what are we navigating inside? And so as you are navigating a serious health condition, you may have these areas that are lighting up, that you feel tension or pain. And so it's interesting when we meditate and we start to turn inward, we're like, oh, I'm noticing these things. And maybe we don't want to. So allow yourself to just, with acceptance, allow whatever to pop up and just start to send a little bit of light there. Breathe deeply in through the nose and back out through the nose or through the mouth, whatever is comfortable for you to get a nice long exhale. And imagine that you're letting go and then you're filling back up with light, directing it towards those areas, coming into your body, out of your mind. And then begin to notice your breath and how it's flowing in and out of your body. Perhaps a little more fluid than it was before. And see how it feels to take one hand and place it on your heart, and the other hand and place it down on your belly. So as you're breathing in and out, you want to try to feel some air coming in, pressing against the hand on your belly, rising up through the chest, feeling that hand rise as well. And as you exhale, you feel your spine settling back in and everything relaxing. Do that a few times, just noticing your breath, which is going to become your anchor right now. You can always come back to your breath, focus on the long, deep inhales, followed by long exhales or sighs. And so by now, you're probably starting to have some thoughts popping up into your head, if not multiple times already, which is totally normal because our mind is designed to just keep feeding us thoughts and trying to keep us safe all the time. And if we're going offline with our minds, it's trying to pry its way back in and just keep us safe. So simply acknowledge whatever thoughts come up. You don't need to relate to them or think about them. Just let them come in and let them go back out. Imagine them sort of floating downstream, coming back to your physical body, noticing how it's touching the ground beneath you, noticing your breath, deep inhales and exhales, and which one of those anchors feels most natural to you, maybe both. And so when we give ourselves a little bit of this space to clear our head and the cobwebs and to come into stillness, we start to tap into this internal life force, this like almost like our teacher within, or as my teacher calls it, our true nature or soul space. And so, with your hand on your heart, just start to notice if you have anything coming to into your awareness. I don't want to say like, what are you thinking right now? It's more like, what are you feeling right now? Take a few breaths, just breathing into that heart space and allowing whatever comes into your consciousness to happen. Or notice if there's an intention coming to mind. This is the last part of our meditation practice where I like to bring in an intention at the end, because where your intention goes, your attention starts to flow. So when we have an intention in our heart, like maybe this feels really good right now to slow down and come into stillness. And so maybe your intention is, I will slow down today, or I will find presence, or maybe it's something completely different that just relates to your life. And so maybe you're realizing that you have this dream of going on a trip or moving or whatever it is, and your head and heart are at odds with each other. So let this just be like, what is your heart saying right now? And that intention will come to the surface. Come back into some deep inhales and exhales through the nose. So just all the breaths be easeful and comforting. And now slowly check in with yourself and notice how you feel in this moment. If anything has shifted for you since the beginning of this meditation, and we'll slowly start to come back into the room. And as you gradually open your eyes and you feel the sense of space around you and take it all in, just move very slowly and easeful. And then if you have, I meant to tell you before we started, a journal close by or something you can write on, we're going to take just a few minutes to free write. I'm not going to give you a prompt or anything, but I want to give you a little bit of time to see if any you have any downloads, because when we come from this space, we're just like we're different. So taking a moment to put it on paper could help. You could write your intention down, you could draw something, write something that stood out to you. Thanks so much for joining us for our First Ascents Mindful Moment. Check out our other resources for mindfulness on the First Ascents YouTube channel and join us next month live. We'd love to see you soon and get out living it.